Hello and welcome back to my Savinkov Russia Let's Play. Right now we are focusing on getting this national focus so that way we can get some more stability, some more factory output, production efficiency cap. Most importantly, we want to unlock decisions to develop industry so that way we can get some free civilian or military factories or whatever it is. Because right now our economy's not doing super well. We only have one stack of civilian factories, plus we are really far down in guns, artillery, and we need to get that fixed before we have any chance of getting our revenge against the German Empire as well as destroying the Third International. Alright, a plot against Russia. Maria Spurnova's death was a severe blow to the left of SR, but many enemies of Savinkov's regime remain. As time passed, the Vizad, I don't know, I think that's how it's pronounced, Vizad, has turned increasingly paranoid that he will go the way of tyrants his younger self eliminated with a bomb in his hand. And to ease the paranoia, the National Republican Party has put a plan in place. Russian newspapers have increasingly begun to speak of a plot against Russia orchestrated by syndicalists and socialists in cahoots with Germany and the other powers. Numerous high-ranking public figures, such as Dmitry Merezovsky and Dmitry Romanov, have published their own articles in which they assert that some bloodletting is necessary to restore stability to Russia. Under the organization of Minister of the Interior Vladimir Manchin, a wave of mass crackdowns by its political opponents have begun. The Okhrana has been given extraordinary powers to search homes and arrest dissidents without the approval of any judicial institution. Several notable leftist politicians and publicists have disappeared off the face of Russia outright. While some are given show trials, others, especially the rank and file of the SR, Mensheviks, and social parties, are subsequently executed or deported. Savinkov has personally presided over several of the show trials, especially those for his old comrades and the socialist revolutionaries. In private to Merezovsky, he has remarked how much of a catharsis it is to see the Ukraine, the place he used to flee from in fear 3 decades ago, now bow to his every whim. The enemy of the nation will be stopped, minus 5,000 manpower, plus 3 stability. The fate of the Dvinsk Autonomous Region. For getting control of the Dvinsk region, known ideally as Lodgau, the currency government established the Dvinsk Autonomous Region to appease the local Latvian and Lagodian inhabitants. This autonomous region took the form of a local, directly elected Congress staffed by Latvian and Lagodian politicians, who were granted large discretion in dealing with local affairs throughout the post-war period. This has turned Lagodi into a haven for Latvian culture. It is where their partisans in the United Baltic Duchy organize secret supply chains and recruit volunteers as well. Now that our government has taken control of the country and seeks to centralize state Moscow, an opportunity arises to dismantle this Latvian autonomy put in the Minsk region under the direct rule. On the other hand, perhaps we can swallow our pride and leave Latvians out. After all, right now they've been pretty complacent. Direct rule. Keep the autonomous region. Yeah, we'll take that. That's something we would do. So is it? Oh, so these guys just because these guys aren't even members of the Reichspakt. Okay. Let's take a quick look at their. Okay, so they don't even have their own. Focus. Alright. I feel like they should be able to get a war goal against Riga. Part of me would prefer that these guys stayed in the Reichspakt, because I would have liked that land. But honestly, this isn't too bad. The Netherlands joined the Reichspakt. We can still like push in through there near I think it's like Lithuania. Yeah, through White Ruthenia into Lithuania and just cut them off with Poland. Right, major peasant unrest. Agitated by various groups, the impoverished peasantry have risen up, the local administration is powerless against the mob, and it seems that the only way to solve this crisis is to use force. Alternatively, you can always attempt to negotiate, although satisfy the peasant demands may turn out to be quite expensive. Send in the army, attempt to negotiate, fully agree. Oh, there it is, there it is. The difference is how long it lasts. 150 days, 365 days. Well, I'll take the stability. God, we're losing 41 factories. That sucks. Right, that's done, at least. We probably want to go ahead and get... We could get some more industry. Yeah, let's see what the current events are. So we can lose some civilian factories to gain some military ones. Okay. These are probably for civilian ones. Probably should have done civilian ones first. Go ahead and do... So I could get some resource ones. Big thing I'd want here is construction speed. So free military factories would be nice. Let's go with machine and tractor stations. The military, the armed forces of the Russian Republic have had a difficult history. It took a decade after the end of the Civil War to restore a stratified professional army. During the war, it devolved into cliques of white generals and their volunteer followers. After all, still a lot of work needs to be done before the Russian army can compete with its likely challengers, be it Germany or Japan. Some see a future in the mobilization of the Russian masses and predict that the next Weltkrieg will be total war, which will require all of the countries to stay dedicated front. Others, such as General Sergei Markov, were impressed by the effectiveness of armored cars, tanks, and trains during the Weltkrieg and hoped to organize the army around this armored breakthrough priority. The officers' pleas are more moderate, though. The proposals for army reform no less extensive. The ultimate decision lies in your hands, however. We'll have a look. The left AMT. Trying to declare independence, peasant unrest. Nah, we won't. I was thinking maybe sending volunteers to the Indo-Chinese Union just to mess with Germany, but I don't feel like collaborating with syndicalists is a very Savinkov thing to do. Also, one thing that I will be doing is someone asked me whenever the Balkan War breaks out, whenever the Civil War breaks out, to send volunteers to Romania to help out the national populists, and I think that's a good idea. So, okay, let's see, what events are there? Supply relief, we won't be doing that. Do we want to give up civilian? We will be saving these, but we will not be building any military factories right now with that. Right now I want all my civilian factories building more civilian factories. I don't know, is there a way to tell who they sided with? Taking the captain's side, okay, cool. Because staying fascist. Well, national populist, but... We can go ahead and do this for the construction speed. Losing the political power won't be fun, but... Alright, here we go. Civilian, 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 civilian. Workers' demonstrations. Creation of the International Avant-Garde. don't think we'll be building anything right now, are we? Oh, no, we are. We are. That's more than I thought we would have. So we can work on our navy. I don't want to yet. Honestly, I don't think navy will be a big part of our strategy here. I think we'll just... I think we just won't completely destroy Japan, and instead we'll push them back here. Like, take them out of Korea, and then that will be our strategy. Right, the Supreme Privy Council. Though Savinkov and Kornilov established dictatorship, disputes between Savinkov's NRPR Republicans and Kornilov's young officers can still endanger cooperation of these two sides of the new regime. It was obvious that the government can't allow the left radicals in the State Duma and the monarchists in the Senate to use these controversies to destroy the role of the army and the NRPR. To prevent such unwanted events, Savinkov has proposed a recreation of the Supreme Privy Council, which once had been executive and religious power, consisted of a small number of most important Russian ministers. Membership of the SPC, also known as the Verkhovniki, will consist of 3 party members with Savinkov on top, along with Kornilov and 3 of his old comrades from the Russian army. The council will be able to issue executive orders which will have superiority over Russian law. History repeats itself. Cool, we'll go ahead and get... So, we got the research speed. Could get some start of synthetic oil. What's this ahead of time for, though? I don't want to waste that, just in case it's not just... I'd rather use it on industry than synthetic oil. Could go ahead and go with this. I'll get 250% ahead at a time, so I got that. 50% ahead of time here, and another 50% ahead of time here. Where do we see what year it is? 41? Alright, and then we'll get the 2 here at a time on that one. Okay, that works. Supposed to be done. And we'll hit the next level. The mythology of October. The Bolshevik Party may be destroyed and influence rendered null by the syndicalist movement. October Puche, called a revolution by some, left Russia changed forever. This means that it is very easy to blame Russia's fault and weaknesses not on inaction, but on not on the failures of the current government, but on the Bolsheviks who supposedly ruined it all. And the NRPR is sure to take advantage of this myth. History textbooks are being amended and mass propaganda campaigns started. The message sent that the Bolshevik uprising was not just an ordinary uprising, an international conspiracy. One was sought to destroy Holy Russia, make sure it never rises again. It was responsible for funding the Bolshevik Party and supplying their uprising across Central Europe, and is not destroyed by force of their arms. It would have left Russia broken, destroyed, and shattered. These textbooks make sure to note the fact that modern Romania had been sent to the Petrograd by the Germans, and that many of the leading members of the Bolshevik Party were not Russian, Caucasians, Poles, and especially Jews. Alright, so we're going to lose 2 stability. Low-key part of me expected us to gain stability from that, but... Let's see, can go ahead and do that one too. Cool, all the civilian ones done. We're going to be negative political power for a bit after this one, but that's fine. Ooh, we also get... Oh, wow. 28 free infrastructure over our entire country. That's pretty good. Okay, are we making planes? We are making planes. Cool. Okay, what's our final bonus here? Industrial staff. Minus 10% consumer goods factories. Plus we get... I'll read this first. The richest man of Russia, well-known aristocrat Felix Yusuf, has always wanted to take part of the political life of Russia. but even using his money, he can only get a small group of supporters in the Senate and the State Duma. With the creation of the SPC, Yusupov has finally understood how he can get one of the highest posts in the Russian Republic. Yusupov has proposed to create the United Civil Military Engineering Organization with him on the top, which will use Yusupov's money as startup capital in exchange for necessary investment for our country. We look to us to make him the new Verkhonik. Gain political power. So let's see, we lose 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, negative 20 consumer goods. Plus negotiations that we'll get rid of eventually, just automatically. Economic depression, that's just going away. Austerity measures, that's just over time. Political instability, I think that's just over time. Okay. Alright, the Ural tractor plants. I do wonder, are we going to help out, do we want to help out Huey Long when the Civil War breaks out? Not sure. It Yusupov Corporation of Foreign Investors. It turns out that using special executive orders of the SPC, Yusupov has seized some foreign factories which he has included in his monopoly. Although these factories were de facto stolen from the Russian owners after the end of the Civil War by the foreigners who did not pay all taxes during the last decade. Anyway, they invested some of the money, and now we should give them compensation. Felix, you have to warn us. So we lose a civilian factory, gain 2 military factories, and lose a bunch of stability. That sucks. Getting the extra guns is nice, but still. Yeah, we still need to stabilize. Vox Populi. Boris Savinkov, pre-1917, Savinkov's ally and later one of the main enemies, who had become the leader of the left SRs after the assassination of Maria Smirnov, died this night in Moscow. It happened when Savinkov's combat squads broke into his house, where an illegal left SR meeting took place, and Savinkov, trying to save, jumped into the Moscow River and drowned. According to the famous sarcastic writer Ivan Bonin, the Vox Populi about this incident seems to be sneers or indifference, just like Savinkov and the NRPR wanted. Okay, improved machine tools. Let's go see some fuel storage. Can go down here. Even more free infrastructure. Quite a bit of it actually. Free research slot. That's not bad, but I really want to get down here and here, at least to get rid of the divided military staff. Italian government falls. Admiral Kolchak murdered in Transmar. Leader of the 1925 coup, rogue Admiral Alexander Kolchak has recently killed by his own soldiers during a military coup in his beloved Transmar state. A man of great ambition, he contested a rights to rule the Russian Republic to less right. With his death, the society became a little bit more pacified. So who's taking control? Market level. Right? Some more free military factories. Here, we'll do it like that. I'll finally finish this off with a nice free force stability and some consumer goods. I shouldn't just say some, it's 10, which should make a pretty big difference. Because we're at 52% right now. Finland has requested grain. The Finnish have approached us as to procure grain shipments. As their old grain supply, the Kingdom of Ukraine is no longer a viable option for the fledgling nation. While it is true that we possess an abundance of grain, the question of whether or not we wish to assist the Finns is still one that we must ask ourselves. What could go wrong? The cost outweighs the benefits. We shall decline. Remember correctly, these guys are national populists, but they hate us. I think I remember Gaintos at 1.3 billion. Oh wait, no, they hate... Or it's the Germans they hate. You know what? We're fine with helping them. Do we want resource scan efficiency? Not yet. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Alright, and we've got all those civilian factories back. Construction done. Go ahead and get resource efficiency done just to see if we can get more rubber and whatnot. Austerity measures are gone. Cool. Peasant negotiations, which feels like forever. Well, let's go ahead and... To this point, leaders and the high-ranking members of the establishment parties, namely cadets, Right SR, and Octoberists, have gotten away lightly as long as they do not raise too much of a fuss. They were allowed to keep on living and doing their jobs. The extent to which Russia is rapidly being transformed into Savinkov's wishes intimidates them as much as it did the socialists. So they ultimately decided they've had enough. Viktor Chernov, Pavel Michael Miyukov, and Adrina Tirkov Williams have collectively drafted the manifesto in which they declare the formation of the movement to restore the constitution. Soon demanded Savinkov to resign and allow free elections. Savinkov was not pleased, and the regime immediately moved against the Democrats. Crackdown on democratic leadership has begun. Numerous newspapers have been closed and their editors arrested. The prisons were falling with political arrest yet again. The downfall of the democratic constitutionalists left the last possible chance of Savinkov's unquenched ambition dead in the ditch. It was not a matter of if, only when. We're going to go ahead and have you guys stop doing that because you guys are going to be official staff. A new monument built to commemorate one of Russia's greatest poets has been uncovered in our capital. The 100th anniversary of Pushil's death is a chance to recall the great days of Russian history and culture. Cool. I want to save up some political power, and we're going to do this to get our army experience. See. Infantry expert. Infantry expert.
Mirna!
Don't remember if that's good or not. And Panzer expert. Cool. Because right now we're eating through too many guns. Cairo Congress. Even more political bombings. Let's go with some experiments. Kornilov's death. Okay. Vladimir Gorovich Kornilov, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief and President of Russia, passed away last night in his dacha outside Petrograd at the age of 68. With Kornilov gone, nothing stands in the way of Savinkov merging the post of the Prime Minister and the President and thus becoming the unassailable leadership of Russia. The merger was approved by a dubious plebiscite where more than 90% of the electorate voted yes. Savinkov now rules a potent and aggravated nation ready to shed itself with the many humiliations faced since the Wolfkrieg inception to the sun once more. The Vizad commands. Cool. We gained... Oh, political stabilization's done too. Alright, cool. We got our stability. We should have... Okay, we're producing civilian factories a lot faster now. Cool. Okay, so let's see. Some more stability and some more support from hand after the death of our leader, Kornilov. His influential Prime Minister, revolutionary Savinkov has assumed power in the Republic and declared himself the Tsar of the Russian nation, surpassing the level of power even the old Tsars had. Boris Savinkov is now the Tsar, the leader of our nation. Or no, I said I was going to do it. Actually, you know what, real quick. Give you guys an actual field marshal. Alright, cool. You know, I was going to do the one that'll let us do land doctrines in a reasonable time, but I'll do that in a bit. Artillery. That's stability and stuff, plus some more stability. We'll take a new Russia. Here, food exports from Romania. Romania, likely most of Europe outside of the syndicalist nation, has been significantly hit by the economic crisis caused by black money. In order to alleviate the situation, the Romanian representative Russia has approached us to negotiate a new trade treaty. This would mean giving them preferential tariffs for agricultural goods and oil, or vice versa for finished industrial goods. More trade is good. We are a great power and we require better terms. Last thing we need is cheap foreign imports. We'll go with we demand a better deal. Romania accepts. Cool. Okay, dang it. Poland joined the Reichspakt. Whereas the Zod, with the passing of Vladimir Kornilov, Boris Savinkov and his radical NRPR supporters have managed to assume control over the entire country. The most important politician in the largest country of the world, Savinkov is hailed as the undisputed leader of Russia and is ready to enforce his own ideology, which opposes both syndicalism and the new Russian Republic traditions of the nation. The aim of the ideology is to reconstruct the Russian state into an entity capable of defending Russian interests, citizens all over the world. Savinkov won't stoop to dependency on either the Reichspakt nor to defeat it on time. The new Russia will be stronger than any alliance in the world. Okay, so it gains some more stability. Go with central apparatus of state. This is okay, but what I really want to get is at least stay here, at least in New Russia before I move. You want to solidify control? Sure. Savinkov addresses to the nation. Boris Savinkov, the closest associate of the Supreme Lord of Kornilov, and his radio address to Russian people announced its dedication to defending Russia from external and internal enemies who would try to take control over the country. He promised to deal with corruption inside the state's apparatus, conduct land reform, improve their labor legislation, and provide further recovery of the state. It seems that the order has finally returned to the country, gaining stability. And directive number 1. With the merger of the offices of the President and the Prime Minister, Boris Savinkov continued through all those. Solidify his grip over the Russian state by penning directive number 1, also known as the first Prikaz Fazad, technically an application of Article 48 of the Constitution. Among other things, the directive dismissed the Duma while allowing all political parties besides Savinkov's own. Furthermore, the directive raised the combat squads to the status of the state organization auxiliary force of the Russian army, tasked to enforce ideological control of the nation. To fulfill his revanchist ideals, Savinkov chose to appoint a close ally of his party, entrepreneur and industrialist Alexei Putov, as his Minister of the Economy. Putov has been tasked to transform the Russian economy into a war machine without any reservations. Gain stability, gain construction speed, gain national populism, and gets reforming the Senate. Alright, cool. But unfortunately, we have run out of time. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.